going through, so that bodes well.
Oh, some noises in the background there, so we better get on with this. This is the Podful of Saints, number 12 for the season. We're looking back on another glorious weekend for the Saints. We stretch our unbeaten run to an 8th game. We'll come to that in a second. It's with myself, David Tavener. Arms folded there, no longer, though. Lee Wood.
David, Jacob, how the devil are we both today?
Jake, how are you?
I'm very good, Dave. The unbeaten run continues.
You look quite forlorn, mate. What's going on? You're all right. What's going on?
Unbeaten runs we don't count the Charity Cups. Let's carry on.
All right.
Right. Yes. Actually, before we get stuck into the Aveley game, one more thing on the Woodford Town game previous week.
No.
And that pitch.
Christ.
No, I talked to someone yesterday who's got some knowledge about that pitch. You know that big discus thing they got, net thing, which looks like something from War of the Worlds. Well, apparently that goes onto the football pitch, and they throw the discus there, which is why it's all dug up. Well, you'd have thought when that thing lands, it might flatten a few of the bumps, but obviously not. And then that thing just sits there until next home game, and somebody wheels it off again. Right, that's Woodford done. right. Last Saturday at Aveley, FA Trophy, 3rd round qualifying. Now, this is going to be interesting. None of us were there for the first half. One of us was there for the second half. They gave the Gators 204. Well, it was 202 up until half time. Actually, it was a few of them out because there was a few other City supporters.
What happened, Tab? Come on, look, you know you want to tell us. What happened?
Yeah, what happened, Dave?
The M25 was a nightmare, as you've probably heard. A major accident, 3 ambulances, air ambulance, a pretty dreadful thing and terrible. You're just grateful you're not involved in it. So you have to take that into account when you're sitting there missing your beloved club in cup action. But I've got to say, it's about 3 o'clock. That's 45 minutes there. That's the most enjoyable 45 minutes I've had on a Saturday so far this season. Right, let's get on with the game, shall we? 2-0 win away to Aveley. We drew there a month ago. It's a good result. People aren't taking the trophy seriously. You can tell by the attendance and the lack of City supporters there. Or some in the traffic jam turned around and went home. Others did batten their way through. Most people got there just after 3 and missed the kick-off. Most people from St Albans. Right, as for the game, we listened to it on the radio down there. There was not a lot happening. We didn't have a shot in the first half an hour. But then when we got the goal, you'd have seen the highlight. I think it's the only highlight of the first half on there, on the film. A good cross in by Sam Smart and headed by Jasper Mather from about, 6-7 yards out. And Sam actually put some decent crosses in the second half as well. Now, he's got himself back in the team. This is the form he's got to show consistently, isn't it? We know he can do it, and he wasn't doing it up until he got dropped. So hopefully this is a sign of better things. Other good things, obviously Jasper scoring again. What's that, 5 in 6, something like that. And another good thing, in the second half, Tom Jennings came on as a substitute, one of the under-23 players. And he did a couple of really nice things. Did a great turn down the right, our right, and got the ball in. So he made a very good impression then. Talk about his impression last night in a minute. And it ended a run of 4 straight defeats for us in the FA Trophy. And now we're at home to Hanwell Town in the first round proper. Right, which one of you wants to go along with any of that?
Oh, well, there's just so much to talk about. Yeah, positives, another clean sheet, right? Bit of a changed team as well. A few players that didn't get minutes, got minutes and maybe put themselves in contention. And also to say Jasper on the score sheet again. Those are the positive from Saturday. I think on a game that a lot of fans thought, well, as you saw by the crowd, this isn't one we really fancy. And the management probably thought,
sod it. That's what they thought, mate. Don't mince your words, buddy.
Yeah, and the management probably thought, well, we'd rather not have these couple of games before the big FA Cup tie. But got the job done. Great to have a bit of progression. And like you say, Dave, so many times recently we've travelled down to Aveley and had a terrible time on the pitch. So it's nice to get down there, get a win, put in what sounds like a professional performance with a few faces that needed the minutes. And now we look forward to another run in the trophy, right? All the way to the semi-final.
Obviously, take that for granted. Did you follow the game at all, Lee?
Yeah, followed it, mate, from afar. As Jake sort of said, and I think we alluded to this sort of latter end of last week's pod, where your likes of your Sippets, your Kones, your Gautiers, we would have liked to see them started, and that's what happened. And I think it's beneficial to give these guys a little bit more time. I don't think they're going to get a lot of time as they would want, but I think these are definitely the sort of games where they can look to impress. And a clean sheet, a win where we've not always won. So it's a real positive thing. And the one thing I would say, someone said to me actually last week, and this sort of carried on into the Aveley result. Okay, it's not been pretty, but you've got to give credit where it's due, guys. And this unbeaten run now that the team are going on, if it does manifest itself into like some sort of unity and a really good side that can play football, it's the results as well that are going to come. So it's really good stuff in terms of results-wise, and results just breed confidence, don't they?
Yeah, you're right there, Lee, and you would hope now they would play with a bit more confidence, not the patchy performances we've seen. Saturday, I only saw, as you know, the second half. Again, it wasn't exciting by any stretch of imagination. Aveley came at us quite strongly at the start of the second half, and Magnus made one really good save, blistering shot, fantastic shot. But we finished it really strongly, which was encouraging. And that second goal, what a joke. The ball, Ryan Henshaw, their captain, just hoofed it down the pitch. That's what he did the first game when we played him. Just hoof it down the pitch. This time he turns inside, knocks it 100 miles an hour past a goalkeeper who's out in no man's land. God knows what he was doing. Straight to Leo Sery, couldn't believe his luck, and just tucked it away simply. One of the best assists of the season we've seen so far. Well done, Ryan. Thanks for that.
Brilliant, wasn't it? It was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, love that.
I turned the camcorder off. I thought, well, he's got it. It's going to go way over our heads down there. And no. And for anybody watching this, we'll know we're struggling for video clips from the start and end of this edition. But yeah, not an awful lot to add. You're right, Jake. Some changes there to that side. Some players. George Sippett's getting a start was nice to see. And also Kieran Gautier, people have been asking for him to have a go, and he come in and we kept a clean sheet. Wasn't the case last night when he was captain.
One more positive as well, though, boys, is the fact that the club actually managed to capture all of the action, unlike previous efforts down to Aveley in the past, which is always good.
Yeah, what happened to those 9 goals? Anybody know?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you mentioned him earlier as well, Dave. Smart. He's probably one that came in during the summer, and I think a lot of people expected decent performances, and they haven't really come so far, and he's sort of fallen out of favour, hasn't he? So I think it's important again to see him come back into the side and put in a reasonable performance by all accounts, because I think there was a lot put on him potentially during the summer, and hopefully he can start to live up to that maybe. And also, you've already mentioned it, it might be a comedic goal, but Leo Sery, great to see him get another one that hit the back of the net. It might not mean much, but it is. And we've already talked about how good he's looked at points this campaign. If he can start adding a few goals to what his performances are, then I think we've got a really, really good player in our hands.
One player who did come in on Saturday was Nick Ralph. I know he played a couple of games last season. He came in because Zane Banton, I think he was sitting next to us on the M25. He got there late and came on after an hour, I think. But other players... Alex Wall was recalled as well, and Hansies Coney. Out went Lewis Page, Alex Dyer, Jamal Fifield, Harrison Smith. I thought he might come back in last night. Is he injured or what? Don't know. Obviously, Zane was late, and Leo Sery went down to the bench. So that would suggest there's strength in that squad, where we can then come in and see off Aveley like that. All right, Aveley not one of the big guns. I don't expect them to be above halfway come the end of the season, which probably means they'll finish up as champions. But it was just nice. But we could rotate it like that and get a result like that down at Parkside.
Yes and no. I would say there's options as opposed to strength. I think if you look at the better players, your Zanes, it's okay, he wasn't there, but there's not too many players operating at his level, if I'm honest, in that side. It's good we've got options. I'm not denying that at all. I think you would struggle, but you've only got to look at the likes of the names that we've just reeled off. Your Sam Smarts, your Leo Series. They come in, they impress for a game, they fall out of favour, and then it's just a cycle, isn't it? And I still believe that Ian and Baz aren't entirely quite sure of the system or the players within it in terms of who they're going to start with. they're resting Harrison. They're trying to not to sort of, absolutely ruin him before the fact he's 30. Alex Wall's come back in. You talk about options there, strength. He should be that linchpin up front. Hasn't quite sort of worked out for him. Options, yes. Strength, jury's out yet, mate.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree. Options is a better word for it. Which you might as well touch on this now. A couple of people have been in touch with the same point. If we're going to maintain this runs in the Cup and maintain the run, or keep the run going in the league, improving it and keep climbing, do we need to bring in some more faces, experienced faces, if you like, to boost that squad? Certainly from what I saw last night, you would say yes. Because if we are going to have, we're really going to have some sort of backlog, have we got the strength there to pull it off at the moment? Do we need to strengthen it?
You could say potentially, but then I suppose it's how far do we go with the squad? Because then do you run to the point quickly of players then not getting minutes when they need to be minutes? Especially if you're bringing in players at this point in the season, are they going to be your players, or are they going to be more like loans potentially? And we've seen that Culverhouse and Bazza aren't necessarily wanting to use much of the loan market so far this season. I think they talked about it in the summer as well, didn't they? Their hesitancy to. They want to use players that are theirs. So if you're going to bring them in, are you then maybe playing players that aren't going to be yours come? And it's your old point, Dave, of they're not actually St Albans players and they can get pulled back at any minute. And we saw that a couple of times last season, didn't we? And the impact of it. So it's an interesting balance. I think the only areas for me are, again, we still need a forward maybe. It'd be nice to find an out-and-out goal scorer potentially. And also the central midfield with the injury to Scott. And then if you sort of have one more there, then you are really something short of numbers potentially. So, but it's a fine balance. It's not a deep squad, but then I don't think I ever expected a deep squad in the Isthmian League, to be honest.
Do you think we need to strengthen it, Lee?
100%. And the thing is, the further we go along the line in these FA competitions, the more money we're going to get. And it would be nice to invest that back into the squad a little tiny bit, especially if you've got real aspirations of progressing in the Cup, trophy, and/or league. There's always someone better. Yes, we've got half decent players, and I think a few of them can go on to bigger and better things. But we've got a lot of players there, in my opinion, who their ceiling isn't as high as others, and there's always going to be someone better. And everyone's available for the right price. It's just whether we are willing to spend that money, and B, whether they're prepared to come. People want to come to a successful football team, but again, I think our relegation last year to this level is going to hamper us for years to come, I think. And unless the longer we're in this division, it's going to be so much harder to get back up. So I think we need to invest in quality players. And look, they're not always available. You're not telling me that Ian and Bazza and the owners and the director of football have gone out and they've not tried to source the best player they possibly can. Some players just don't want to come, but we are going to have to look at this because, as you say, off the back of last night's result, you're looking at maybe some homegrown talent coming through the ranks to help us out. And is there a Godfrey Poku or a Chris Seaby or a Simon Martin or a Jack Green waiting in the wings? It doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't look like it at all. You talked about the money from the FA Prize Fund on Saturday. Aveley, you pick up a whopping £625, and we bagged 2,450 with 3,000 up for grabs in the next round. Right, is that Aveley done and dusted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So we move on to a City defeat, a word we just don't know. Quite a few changes last night when we went to Berkhamsted. The club should apologise to those supporters who knew nothing about the game. It wasn't on the website. It's absolutely shameful. The Twitter feed last night was beyond pathetic. Berkhamsted was much better. And the club said it was having a reset at the end of last season. Well, it has. It's gone right back to year zero with communications with supporters, and it's just not acceptable. Right, end of the game last night. We'll get onto that now, shall we?
I mean,
people who were there were moaning about this lack of information last night. So those who weren't there, they'll be moaning even more.
Well, they must have got some information. In fact, they were there. So, you know, it couldn't be all bad, surely.
Ken?
Yeah, I don't think we could talk. We didn't mention the game on the podcast last week.
No, because we didn't know about it. I didn't find out till Saturday. I mean, that's ridiculous.
If people are using this as their source of information to find out stuff about the club, they need some serious head wounds. Jesus.
Well, you summed it up perfectly, really. Yeah.
Anyway.
Right.
Anyway.
Berkhamsted started with 8 of a side. They started on Saturday, whereas we made a whole load of changes. 7, just kept 4 in from the Aveley game, and those 4, well, Hasley's Cone might be a regular starter, but none of the others will be. So it was very much weakened City side, no two ways about it. I was expecting more from our lads. I really was. I know the 2 Hertfordshire games last season that were a disaster, those 2 performances within a week. But I was expecting a lot better yesterday. But the passing was so poor, and the ability to hold on to the ball, it was so weak. It was almost non-existent. And you're thinking, whoa, is this our backup? So when we were talking a minute ago about how strength is, have we got strength in depth? Well, the answer is no, you're right, Lee. We have alternatives, but not strength. And Berkhamsted won comfortably, 3-0. Could have been a lot more. Brad Wadkins got their final goal. He was with us, 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Yes, came off the bench and scored. Tom Jennings, he played the whole game. So I was looking forward to seeing him. Big disappointment most of the game. Did some good things towards the end. There's something about him. Certainly one there to build on for the future, you would hope. But not a lot else really grabbed me. The goalkeeper, Jake Boxer, was not in goal. Would expect him to make his debut, but he got sent off the other week, playing for the reserves. And I looked it up, and in fact, I think we had 3 players sent off that day. Quite incredible. And what's happened to the discipline in the reserves there, but it's a bit dodgy. It might just be one. It's like, do you remember that game? Was it FA Cup or Trophy? When Colin was manager, Colin Lippiatt, away to Kettering, when we had 3 sent off there?
Yeah.
When the wheels come off, they come off big time. Yeah.
We were criticised last year for our review of the Potters Bar game in particular, Tavs. And the director of operations now in charge at Clarence Park was particularly peeved with our comments. So I'm going to choose my words a little bit more sparingly this time around. I mean, look, it's an ideal, isn't it, that you have when you get young, talented footballers from your home city come through the ranks and put on the shirt, and it's a romantic thing to behold. That hasn't happened really in a while. We've had some good ones, you know. Lancashire's sort of gone on to be a bit, Gautier's come in and he's sort of teetering on the fringes of the first team, really. But again, you're looking at results of last night, and look, it was always going to be tough because Berkhamsted are a good side for that level, and Potters Bar as well, back in the last year. But you've got to give these kids a chance to flourish. But ultimately, when they do have their chance, they're found wanting. And I don't think it's a lack of quality or just a lack of understanding about the opposition and the platform. It is difficult, Dave, and it would be very easy to say, oh, you know, these kids aren't good enough, or they haven't quite found the level, and 1 or 2 might come in and all that. But ultimately, the setup, is it really there? I mean, Ian Allington, wonderful manager for us, had no time to look at the younger kids coming through because of the pressure he was on to get results. You know, he was always either trying to starve off relegation, or fighting for the playoffs, or trying to do something a bit more comprehensive in the cups. He had no time for the youth, and by his own admission, you know, he needed instant success. That was his remit. That was his goal, and he was given that money to go and do that. I don't think that is a luxury now that Ian and Bazza have, in so much that they haven't got the sort of budget, the contacts, or the platform, because not a lot of quality players are going to want to come down and play Isthmian League football. Let's be honest. But I don't know what the answer is, because you've got to give these boys minutes, but then again, it's going to do them no good if they're getting shafted every sort of time that they do.
What about you, Jake? Did you have some optimism for last night?
Yeah, I didn't expect to have the amount of changes that we did, but I can understand why. I mean, as a club, we've been burnt by cup games before cup games. Was it Luton Town away in the fourth qualifying round many years ago, where Steve Castle put out a pretty strong Saint squad game or two before, and that didn't end particularly well. So yeah, I can understand it. And I expect a little bit more. Even when I saw that team last night, I still thought, there's a couple of players that might put on a bit of a display. But Dave, by all accounts, was there anyone that really shone for you watching that game in Saints colours?
No, sadly not. I went there quite hopeful we were going to see an improvement on last year, because four almost senior players, though they're not regulars at the moment. Person next to me said it was men against boys, and it was really disappointing. That former up to Berkhamsted. Well, what's going on there at the moment? Got new owners. They paid $5,000 for a player last week. Reportedly got a bid in for $10,000 for another player now. But you look at their ground, down the side, you only go one person at a time round there, because it's so narrow. And you think, why are you spending this money when your limitations are very much because of your ground? You're not going to be able to go far. Anyway, that's up to them. So they're looking to go places. But as for us, disappointing. I don't think anyone's going to be too upset going out of a charity cup with everything else we've got on at the moment, but would have been nice to see something a bit more encouraging.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Right, now we come on to the main course. This coming Saturday, Banbury United away, FA Cup, fourth round qualifying. You can only get tickets online if you are thinking of going. It is segregated. So that's good. We'll be standing next to each other.
Oh, no.
Right. They're at the same level as us, but in the Southern League. Same league record as us, played 3, won 3, lost 3. And we've both come through 3 rounds of the FA Cup so far. So it's not a lot to tell between the two clubs from that. They've got here by beating anybody good. I did have it down here somewhere. They started off with a win at Mangotsfield, isn't it? Then they chased Town. They beat them on penalties. Then in the third qualifying, and it's disappeared off my screen. They beat somebody else. There you go.
God, Dave, you are a professional, aren't you?
Leiston. They won 3-0 at Leiston. I was hoping we would go there again. Lovely little trip that is, out to Suffolk.
God.
Yes. But there you go. Right, 10 previous meetings, 6 in the league, 3 wins to us, 1 to them. Cup we've met 4 times. First one was in the Hitching Centenary Cup in 1971. John Mitchell played in that game. I was there. Cup played them 4 times. We've won 2. They've won 1. And that's the last time we played in the Cup. FA Trophy, 1980 something or other.
Look at that programme. That's quality.
Well, that is our best cover ever, without a shadow of a doubt. That's the best cover ever produced by the club.
Okay.
And that is just an abomination.
No.
Bearing
in mind you're speaking to someone who's designed about 20 of them, you could have been a bit kinder, to be fair.
Right, the most recent game between us and them was a league game at Station Approach. We won 5-1. You mentioned it off air last week, Jake. Our scores for John Frendo, 2, Lee Chappell, Steve Wild. And did I miss somebody off there? No, that's all right. I had a quick word with Steve Oliver, actually, because he scored in that FA Trophy game 40 years ago, just about. And he said, I remember most of my goals. He said, I don't remember that one. Thanks, Ollie. Thanks for your contribution. Right. I've got some FA Cup stats. They can wait. It's difficult to tell. We're on this, you ignore last night, it's 8-game unbeaten run, 7 of them away from home. So we can only go there with confidence, surely.
Surely. Yes, we should. But we don't want a false confidence, do we? I think, Banbury, it's when a lot of Saints fans saw the draw and they thought, right, that's a decent draw. It could have been much, much worse at this stage of the competition. But also, you've got to keep in your mind it is easily to lose as well. Banbury, they're not pulling up trees, but then neither have we in the league, particularly until recent weeks with our little run. It's going to be difficult. We know it is. There's going to be a lot of home fans, less away fans. Yeah, it's going to be tricky, but we've got to be there confident. I feel like I'm underselling the Saints. I feel like I should be feeling more confident.
As I say, Lee, records of the two clubs this season almost mirror each other, apart from our present run. After a bad start, we're now flying, really. Which way are you going on it?
Yeah, it is tough. And I think that whilst Jake is right, we do have, roots to be optimistic even. I think there's just that little niggling thing at the back. This is City. We do have the ability. We've got to this stage in the past with potential glamours of the first round looming, and we've just fallen apart. It is tough. I wouldn't say unknown quantity per se, but I think we ourselves are unknown quantity. Consistency up until the first part of the campaign wasn't really there. But what I would say now, we have built that form going into this, and you'd like to think, we're just starting to manifest something a little bit special. We're just trying to start something, a little bit of cohesion, a little bit of understanding between the players now. And I tell you what, a good cup run, a first round tie, a decent first round tie is on the cards. So let's go into this positive, yes, but just a little bit apprehensive about what's ahead as well.
Right, it's the 27th time we've been in the fourth qualifying round. 20 of those times we've been drawn away from home, won 7 of them. In all, it's 12 wins plus 1 on penalties, which doesn't count because that's an absolute farce. You remember which penalties win was it? Corinthian Casuals.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Oh, yes.
The Forest Green season.
Yes, rather important one, wasn't it? As mentioned last week, first time been drawn away from home in 8 successive ties. We have played in the fourth qualifying round in Oxfordshire once before. You might remember it, Lee. You won't, Jake. It was a 4-0 win at Whitney Town. And I think it was a magazine called 442. They did a photo feature on the game, and it had this caption of this old boy walking away, and it says, "One lone miserable Whitney Town supporter is leaving the ground."
Was it you?
Probably Jesus. No, it was Steve Trulock's dad, Nobby. It's somebody who supported City for about 70 years. So it's funny because the miserable one in that family is, of course, Steve, not Nobby. So we got our 1-4 qualifying round tie in Oxfordshire. It's turned very much in our favour.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually do fancy us to win it on Saturday, which doesn't mean anything at all. Yes, I'm quite confident. I feel things are rolling our way at the moment. We're getting the breaks, and long may they continue. Banbury's team, know nothing about them. I've looked at it, and I don't know anything about their players at all. So it's just based on us grinding out another win.
Let's get these predictions in early. Come on. Come on. Jacob, he's just said that we're going to win. Taz is the oracle. Nothing can go wrong, mate. Come on.
I think he should go first.
2-1.
Yes.
2-1 Saints.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I've even typed it in here earlier. There you go.
What is going on? Go on, Jake.
A tight, nervous 1-0 City.
That's your second successive 1-0.
I'm going to go a gut-wrenching, nail-biting 3-2 Saints.
You got Saturday's result right. Presumably, you and Ryan Henshaw had something going on, judging by that back pass.
What can I say? I've got my iron now, mate. It's all coming upward. That's all I'm going to say.
So yes, all three of us have gone for a win there, which is a rare event.
Bad, isn't it?
But you look at the size. Dyer's going to come back in. Fifield will come back in. Smart's already back in. Does Harrison Smith come back in?
I would go with yes. I think he should, especially if we're looking for that attacking approach to the game. But I don't know. If he doesn't, what will it be? Jasper and Leo Sery up front, maybe with one other. I
Alex?
suppose. I think Wall would be a very interesting choice. And I think it would be an unexpected choice. I think a lot of Saints fans after the last couple of games would not expect Wall to come back in necessarily to start. So I guess we'll wait and see. I suppose one good thing you could say is, as we've talked about depth, but there are at least a few options, aren't there, for Culverhouse and Bazza to sort of chop and change the team potentially. So yeah, I think Harrison Smith will come back in myself.
I don't. I think Alex Wall will. What about you, Lee? Where are you going?
I think he's gonna go with Smith. I think something really bad's got to happen now for Alex Wall to get a run into the side. I think maybe Smith. I don't know how long you give him though, mate. I've got to say, I mein, he's not doing what he's been brought in to do, but at least he's contributing in other ways around the pitch. But you needed to score goals. I think Jasper starts, if I'm honest. I like the fact that you can't leave him out the side. He scored whatever it was. You said 5 and 6 now. Very harsh to leave him out. He's the one on form. He's the one scoring the goal. So surely, in terms of the attacking final third of the pitch, you build that side around him now until, the statistics suggest otherwise. But as Jake said, we've got options, yes. But I do think he starts with Harrison Smith. But he does need to come good sooner or later.
Yeah, and obviously Zane Banton comes straight back in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'd expect so. And I suspect the defence will be pretty much the same as it's been for the last month or so, won't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's that sorted then.
Oh,
we got the first
good
round. Right, you two have something to do with the trust now. Are they running a bus or a mini car or mini bus or something? God knows what.
Yeah, supporters coach sold out for Saturday. So there you go. And also the trust has got its AGM tomorrow evening. So as we're recording this on Wednesday, so Thursday, 9th of October, in the clubhouse at Clarence Park, 7:30 p.m. We'll be hosting it. Paul Bastock will also be coming along to discuss his career in football and the Saints over the last couple of seasons.
Parental guidance is advised.
But yeah, we'll be running through trust for the last year and the plans for the year ahead. Lee, did you have anything else you want to add on the AGM?
Well, just that they've finally allowed me on. After decades of badgering Ian Rogers and Duncan to let me on the board. No, Lee, no, you're just going to upset people. So, well, I can do that anyway. I haven't got to be on the trust board to upset people. So they've just buckled. They've finally elected me to the board, and it's going to be a wonderful time. It's going to be a beautiful thing. We're going to cause some good things to happen. But in all seriousness, we have one of the main concerns, and I put this in my opening gambit, because you have to write a letter saying why you should be on the board. And Jake, we have conversations with people on trains and on platforms and on terraces up and down the country. There was a perception of the trust that was disappointing. They didn't feel as though it was relative to them, and they wanted to see a younger element on board with the trust, proactive, hungry, eager, people who care. So hopefully myself and Jake, we're going to sort of help contribute towards that as well. Please do join the trust if you have not done so already, because it's like those people who moan and then don't vote. It's that thing where we're not necessarily going to change the owners' minds overnight about anything, nor should we feel as though we want to change the owners' minds overnight. But the bigger the voice, the bigger the argument, if it does come to the important stuff. So it's what, £7 or whatever it is, Jake. It's barely a pint of strong continental lager now in the beehive. So there's certainly things. But the thing is, though, we're there to support the club. this isn't about antagonising anybody or upsetting anybody. It's just about making sure that when it comes to the stuff that matters with the fans, that the fans do have a voice. And I think that Jake and I certainly are going to try our best to make sure that the trust is that critical friend when it comes to really, and not, listen, we're not going to go there and just criticise the club every single time they do something. That's counterproductive. And also, that's not the role of the trust. The trust is to have the supporters' backs and give the fans a genuine voice when they want issues to be raised. So I think that, that is where we are coming from, isn't it?
Absolutely. To be a member, it's actually only £5 if you're between 17 and 65.
£2 goes to you. So it's
if you're if you're a senior citizen, so listen to this bit, Dave. It's only £3 for you. And family membership, so 2 adults and up to 2 children under 16 is only £7. And those annual fees are really small. You can join online. We've now got an online form that will pop again on the Trust socials. And also for the AGM tomorrow, all fans are welcome. You don't have to be a member. You're more than welcome to come along and join us. You won't be able to vote on AGM matters, but welcome to come along, listen to what's going on, what the plans are, listen to Bazza, have a chat, have a pint. And yeah, please join us if you're free.
There is one other thing.
Oh no!
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, we've got a game next Tuesday. We haven't touched it. Pottersbar Town.
Well,
is it on the website?
Or a Banbury United at home replay, of course. But we go assuming it's going to be Potter's Bar. Well, if we did them. That's marvellous English, isn't it? We beat them 4-2 down at the Walk a few weeks ago. And you can't imagine anything other than a City win Tuesday, can you? Or if we have a really good result Saturday, are they going to be distracted because a cup draw will have been made for the first round? Or will they be a bit down if we've gone out of a cup? It may not be as straightforward as one would imagine.
No, I think without the cup tie, I think we'd be fairly confident, wouldn't we, going into Tuesday's game based upon that game a few weeks ago. I mean, why are we playing them so soon after we just played them? But anyway, but you'd have to say that performance down at Potter's Bar, again, we talked about it, didn't we, when we reviewed the game? It could have been 5 or 6 to the Saints with a couple of chances that we had towards the end. So, yeah, I expect more of the same from City. You've got to take that same approach. And I think what I liked about that game was how our pace in the wide areas caused them a lot of trouble. Leo Sery particularly, Jasper Mather again, both of those sort of starred that night. And I'm hopeful that both of them again cause similar sort of trouble on Tuesday night for Potter's Bar.
Potter's Bar could have had more as well, Jake.
Yeah.
Not just us. It could have been a much higher scoring game than it actually was. What do you feel about it, Lee?
Yeah, you'd like to think, irrespective of the result on Saturday, you'd still like to think we're going to have more than enough for them. You got the impression that we let them back into the game at their place after taking a storming lead. I think we've learned a bit more since then. We've matured defensively since then and as a team. So I think if we do get to go ahead against them, I can't see them having the same sort of retaliation as they did at their place. My concern again, at the minute is just that consistency of goals. They sort of, I wouldn't say they gifted us both of the goals early doors at their place, but their defending was pretty poor. We'll see how we get on. But yeah, I think looking at it in the cold light of day, yes, we should have enough to overcome them, especially at home as well.
Having gifted us goals, the second one shouldn't have stood. It was offside.
No.
Oh, definitely was. Anyway, right. I'm going to go 3-1 win.
Oh, no. What's all this confidence coming from, Dave?
Yeah, what is going on? Go on, Jacob.
Should we do the same 4-2 City? Same score,
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
2-0 for me, David.
Okay, another clean sheet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I fancy that one.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Right, that is about it, isn't it? Unless someone's got anything else.
No, I think just a reminder, Saints fans, if you're going to Banbury, get your ticket in advance. You can't really get it on the gate, and it is segregated as well for whatever reason. So yeah, good luck to the Saints for Saturday and all those travelling. Lee, anything else? Dave, anything else? If not, we'll see you all again next week. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Podful of Saints, email description below. Come on, you Saints. Bye-bye, everyone.